beginning of Belletin. Well, end of Belletin, but the day
He's
after.
at the house feeding his hangover. Got an
As you can
invite,
see, the
too,
party
I
was
think.
wild.
Is Geralt
It even had an
hangover?
effect on Geralt.
Can he get hangover?
Woman.
I mean,
No,
he can
not
get
really.
tired.
He can be tired.
Yeah.
But
Strange
in
as
classic
dreams go.
form, you lose a friend on a big night
How
out.
does that know?
That's exactly
It's
the
usually
deal.
everyone else who gets a hangover.
But yeah, we just talked about how important Belletin is, but can we actually go back to like the very basics? So when and where the story takes place? Without like big spoilers.
Without big spoilers. Let's start with where. So,
I can talk about the where, exactly.
okay.
Let's go.
So it's the whole thing plays out in Letten, which is the birthplace of Dandelion. It's in the north, somewhere halfway between Covid and Cadeven, for all you map nerds out there. If you go to the Gulf of Praxida and take the Buina River to the east and take a right on the Nimnar River, on the other southern shore of the Nimnar, you will find this lovely place that you get to
Looking
have a
sounds
beautiful
kinda
glimpse
familiar.
about. But it's in the
Could it
north
be?
if you want the short, the LDR version.
So I guess we can now go to when.
So, the events of third expansion unravel after Geralt hoped to retire at Corvo Bianco, but then yet another adventure unveils. So this is what I would share for now. And then, of course, he has a good reason why to be back.
Basic story, the basic outline has some really, really great vision elements that we want to cater to, but also enable the player side of exploration, not just the story side of exploration. So we are an open world RPG, and we are going to stay true to that in Songs of the Past as well. And we want to make sure that you are enabled to explore, but guided gently towards elements of the story so you can still experience it as we sort of intend, but in your own pace, if you understand what I'm saying. So it's directed, but gently, and lets you engage in open world activities while you're already invested in a greater storyline unfolding. So it's still up to you, but nicely framed. And this, I think, was one of the biggest challenges still, which was the biggest challenge in the original game as well.
And I guess on that, Peter, what, as players are sort of taking in the world and the architecture and all the work that the team has done, what's something that you really hope that they'll get to see and immerse themselves in, and maybe like the finer details?
Well, there's going to be a lot of beautiful stuff and a lot of characteristics that you can experience, and they are going to be obvious. But I would like the players to pay attention to the second layer of this whole world, which is the level design intention. I'm speaking towards my department, of course, because there's a lot of goodwill and greatly skilled intention behind every single pebble, every single asset placed to basically enable what we mentioned earlier, this kind of gentle guidance to make sure that you see everything that we intended you to see, but still let you roam free in the most convenient and accessible manner. So whenever you're on any path, you're enjoying any interior castle, dungeon, anything that you engage with, if you have a moment to appreciate all the good intent, the framing, the composition, the colors, the lighting, do yourself a favor and pay attention to that, because there's a lot of professional skill and effort that went into every square centimeter of this new world.
Yeah, I think while we traverse through Latin, could you tell us more about the inspiration? Because I already see in comments that it looks like Italy, it looks different than what we're used to. So maybe a few words about creation of Latin.
Right, so we still wanted to keep this character of Latin that is very close to our fond childhood memories of holidays spent at grandma and grandpa in the countryside. So when exploring Latin, when entering Latin, you should feel that from the get-go, right? This is a very calm land, an idyllic land, a rich one, but also mornings are fresh, right? You can see the crisp light traveling on all the vegetation and like shining on you through the leaves, and you can actually feel it that it's peaceful, it's there. So it's familiar for the Polish countryside, I would say, but also, as we can see right now, we also took some inspirations from British Isles when it comes to architecture, and it has a further connection to the lore, to the story of this place, because Dandelion, whose family is the owner of the land, they are counts, right? So as we were looking for something connected with the title of the count itself, and it has many rooms and corridors, so there is a lot of explore and many secrets.
Okay,
Secrets.
so far we showed you a little bit of the sunny Latin, but it also has woods,
Oh yes.
dark woods,
Lots of it, yes.
lots of dark woods. Can we maybe talk about how you guys approach designing this contrast between super sunny village and then dark forest with like fog and all that mystery around?
Yeah, this was an exceptionally tricky thing to pull off, and I bet it's the trickiest part of every game that tries to illustrate values through contrast, is how to blend like one extreme into the other extreme. But with clever framing, composition, and distancing and density and encounters and community design and every single component, it's manageable. But you have to be mindful, of course, how you conduct the journey there, how you can end up from one place to another like accidentally, and make sure that the things do not happen like that unless you intend them to happen like that. So it is kind of tricky, but it requires a lot of testing and a lot of iteration, of course, and subtle play with colors and, of course, expectations, how you set up a certain mood with shapes that bleed out into the surrounding environment a little bit sooner, just to like set the mind in that kind of mood earlier with a smooth transition. So everything happens in good rhythm and pacing.
Yeah, beautiful. As a side note, the framing of the moon, some may remember back from Witcher 1 days, back into the game.
Well, you know, as you mentioned, it was already showcased in Witcher 1 trailer ages ago, and it's something that has been popping up since that moment. Like, there were various attempts on realizing the chain and Geralt having been able to fight with it. But, you know, when the Songs of the Past started development, it just felt like a natural addition that finally we have the moment and capabilities to add it. You know, few things have to happen, like stars had to align, and Ubisoft help was needed as well for preparing the remaster, because there wasn't an option to add the chain before without doing this little tweaks and fixes for the combat itself, because otherwise it would be just too clunky, frustrating, and not really any help. Whereas now, after the changes that Moritz will in a second probably deep dive into, it's a very cool crowd control weapon.
All right. And I guess on this, so how does the chain sort of change the flow of combat compared to the use of swords and signs, which we're more used to?
Well, it's a weapon that you equip in the same slot as the crossbow, basically, and it kind of reuses some of the mechanics. So as you've seen on the clip out there, you can aim at an enemy. There are some weak spots that appear. We're going to talk about it in a second. But basically, the aiming is similar to the crossbow. Time slows down. You can decide which weak spot you want to target, and then after you release the chain, you bring the enemy to you. And if you tap attack in the right time window, you're gonna execute a finisher, like we've seen over here.
Wow.
With the
So cool.
with the beheading. That's my favorite one. But that's not all. Chain is also a very fast weapon, a really good tool for crowd controlling. So if you have like a group of enemies, a swarm of swarmians swarming you, you can basically use the chain to break up the group, bring one out up to you, you know, land a few hits, dodge back, use another chain on another one, and keep it rolling, basically. It's a very fluid and cool weapon. I love it.
So chain is essentially a ranged weapon, like you mentioned. It's taking the crossbow spot. So I cannot have both chain and crossbow, correct?
Yes, you cannot have them equipped at the same time.
So I think I'm gonna go with chain, not crossbow, because I always had issues with crossbow. With the aim, I'm sorry, I'm very...
If you want to pick someone who you want to deal with first, you can hoist them out from the crowd and deal with them in a quick fashion, if you have the sufficient adrenaline points, of course, because this does not come free. Or if you just want to keep distance with everyone else, for you to like gather your thoughts and figure out what to do next, the swipe attack is ideal for that. So it's a quick reaction, gives you time, or gives you a great tactical advantage. It will not sort out every single situation, but it's a very valid addition to your roster of offensive features that you have at your disposal.
Yeah, for me, it's a perfect panic weapon. You know, when you get jumped by a lot of monsters, you just go like, and push it, and he swipes it. It's like a little bit of area cleared around you, so you can then work around like who you're gonna attack first and what to do next, you know.
Totally makes sense.
Also, it's a huge fan service, I think, because a lot of people were, I think, I remember looking for it. I was very happy when the idea was proposed and brought to life. Plus, my favorite supervillain anti-hero is Lobo, and he has something very, very similar. So it was really, really cool to see someone else like.
The weak points are actually really cool, and they also tie into this whole new combat system that diversifies the combat a lot.
I see on the gameplay where we have the chain and swarmians, right? They're like shiny points. Those are the weak points, right? So this is how they're indicated. So
Yeah, so when he starts to aim, you can see the little like crosses on various joints, and yeah, this you need to aim at that basically.
does it cost anything?
Adrenaline points, right?
Yes, it does. I mean, the full feature is still work in progress, like we said, but currently it ties into the adrenaline mechanic, so that if you, I don't know if you can see it here now, no, but if you aim at the weak point and then also have the amount of adrenaline that's necessary for the attack, then it will execute that attack or finisher on the enemy.
In diesem tollen Gameplay sieht, ist halt eben dieser Zusammenhalt auch zwischen diesen Leuten und wie so kleine...
Und warte, wichtig. Oh, wichtig. Man kann den Hund streicheln.
You can pet the dog.
Eigentlich kann die Gamescom jetzt auch enden.
Ja.
Also
Packen wir es ein.
packen wir ein, Hund kann gestreichelt werden. Alles gut.
Plätze!
Sight for sore
So.
Oh, ich liebe Plätze. Anyways, das zweite ist natürlich Beziehungen, ja, gerade zwischen Freunden, aber auch zwischen Familie, weil, wie erwähnt, reisen wir hier ja in das Heimatland von Rittersporn. Das heißt, Heimat, da ist Familie meist nicht fern. Und wie ihr alle am besten wisst, kann Familie wunderschön sein, aber auch kompliziert. Und ja.
Ja, aber auch zum Thema Freundschaft vielleicht nochmal. Also Rittersporn war ja jetzt in allen Spielen bislang mehr, nicht in allen Spielen, aber war immer mal wieder in die Story eingesprenkelt und war ja auch in Sapkowskis Geschichten immer sehr wichtig. Und wir hatten aber das Gefühl, dass er doch nochmal seine eigene Geschichte so ein bisschen verdient.
Ja.
Da auch nochmal vielleicht eine kleine Selbstwerbung. Morgen haben wir nochmal einen Stream zu den Charakteren tatsächlich, also zu Charakteren und Monstern. Da geht es auch nochmal so ein bisschen um Rittersporn und auch um die neuen Charaktere. Ich hatte schon Fragen gesehen, auch zu seiner Cousine, Großmutter und so weiter.
Ja.
Darüber reden wir morgen nochmal im Detail. Aber als Thema war uns einfach die Freundschaft wichtig. Und ja, ich sehe Kühe.
Auch wichtig.
Team Kühe. Schaut euch das an.
Also das ist so toll, das passt echt auf keine Kuhhaut hier.
Oh, Ryan, das können wir jetzt nicht die ganze Woche so weitermachen.
I'm here every day, jeden Tag für euch, Freunde.
Wunderschön. Und was war... Also wir haben jetzt ja, wie gesagt, mit vielen Devs auch geredet. Jetzt sehe ich eine Gans und ich bin abgelenkt. Wir haben mit vielen Devs geredet und Es ist natürlich auch ein bisschen eine Herausforderung,
Ja.
Geralt nochmal wiederzubringen, gleichzeitig am Remaster zu arbeiten. Das sind natürlich nochmal teils andere Teams, aber teils ja auch dieselben Leute.
Ja.
Remastered, eine neue Erweiterung,
Ja.
dann natürlich nochmal die Geschichte neu schreiben und das alles parallel zu machen. Gab es dann eine ganz besondere Herausforderung, auch gerade mit Letten, die es ja als Welt vorher nicht gab. Also es ist jetzt ja nicht eine neue Geschichte
Ja.
in der existierenden Welt, sondern nochmal eine neue Location.
Ja, ich glaube, das Wichtigste dabei ist, dass es halt eben eine ganz eigene Identität hat. Und um diese eigene Identität zu schaffen, muss man natürlich auch es ein bisschen abgrenzen von den Regionen, die es bisher gab. Also keine schneebedeckten Berge oder eben trubelige Großstädte und auch keine sonnenverwöhnten Weinberge. Diese Region hat halt ihren ganz eigenen Charme. Und ich glaube, das war so der Kern der Herausforderung, eben nochmal etwas zu bringen, was im Nachhinein auch als Ganzes gesehen wird und sich abgrenzt von den anderen Bereichen, sodass man auch etwas hat, auf das man sich wirklich intensiv einzigartig freuen kann.
Ja.
Ja.
Also man sieht ja jetzt auch nochmal, weil wir vorhin über das Thema geredet hatten, so polnische, zentraleuropäische Anklänge und Inspirationen. Ich glaube, dass ihr das auch gut erkennt, gerade bei dem Footage, was wir jetzt sehen, ne, mit den Bergen, aber auch die Häuser, das Design, auch das Design der Kleidung. Natürlich ist es nicht immer 1:1 die Inspiration, aber ich glaube, gerade jetzt so im deutschen Stream, es ist auch viel, was uns jetzt eventuell bekannt vorkommt,
Ja.
so als Inspiration. Ne? Ich hatte nochmal die Frage gesehen, jetzt entweder back to the path, aber auch zurück auf den Pfad. Also zurück auf dem Pfad ist
Ja.
auch das Passwort.
Also ich würde hier gerne Urlaub machen, muss ich ehrlich sagen.
Ja.
Ich wäre sofort dabei, hier mal eben hinzureisen und so ein paar Nächte zu nächtigen.
Genau.
Richtig schön.